He's just a good old boy who loves burning rubber and driving fast. You're tuned into the Clay Milligan YouTube channel, where you never know what you're gonna see.
What's up, folks? Just like that, we are in Indianapolis, Indiana. It is PRI show week. I love this show. Y'all are going to get to come along, but we're going to do some other cool stuff first. Got a little surprise coming up for you guys. So hang in there. Let me get where we're going.
What's happening?
Look who opened the door.
It's me. I'm everywhere.
We have made our way to, we're at AB Motorsports at the moment. Not where I'm headed, but I knew he would open the door and let me in.
Yeah, I always let Clay in.
All right, so I am at Schumacher's today because we have a brand new race car sitting here. Brand new Schumacher chassis, Christman rear end, wing stand. These things absolutely cool. I love it. You can see that there's a lot going on here. Funny car bodies everywhere over there. Dragsters here and there. It's a whole lot going on here. It's cool. New car. Everybody loves a new car. I'm no different. All right, folks, we're continuing on here at Don Schumacher Racing, and I'm here with Nick. Help me with that last name. It's kind of like me and my last name.
Castertano.
Castertano. So you are like in charge of the chassis shop, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you just built me a brand new car.
Yes, we did.
Give me the quick rundown process. How does all that get going, and how do we get to where me and you are at right now with this chassis sitting over here?
Well, we could start with a pile of tube. Then we start on the chassis table. And it starts laying it up, and from there it goes back, fit up, and once it's all fit up, we weld it together, evenly together. Two guys weld it out, and then from that point comes off. All the tabs get put on it, and then it'll be over there what you see on the stands over there.
He's making this sound so simple, but I got questions, buddy.
It's real simple. Let's hear some questions.
All right. So all of these, I know they're fixtures, but what do you call those?
Those are for your front. Those are your front A-arms.
I mean, the piece itself. I mean, is it called a fixture?
Yes. Those are. We'll just call that our A-arm fixture.
A-arm fixture. So each part, I see they've got numbers on them. So is it different on every chassis? Are the dragsters all pretty close?
All pretty similar.
All pretty
similar.
And
we have them just so when we take it all down, because you got to take the fixture off to get the car off and do all your stuff. We have those so it goes right back on the same spot every time, and just make sure it all is correct.
So a car like mine versus, let's say, obviously Tony Schumacher, we're at Don Schumacher Racing, the chassis itself, are they like pretty close?
Very similar.
Very similar.
We try to keep as much as we can standardized, very similar.
So like saying that, like if I needed to order a fuel tank, my fuel tank and Tony's will be the same.
Yes, that is correct.
And I'm trying to make this because we know they're very similar, but like my engine location might be a little different than Tony's. Stuff like that. That's adjustable.
That's adjustable. That's per crew chief. We build it so they're the same. Once it's out of our hands, then we have components that can change that location.
Basically, what I wanted y'all to know was, yes, the chassis are very similar, but every crew chief does everything a little differently, and that's why they run different.
That is correct.
So, do you start with bottom frame rails? I mean, what's the process?
We'll start with the cockpit.
Let's walk over there. So, we call this the cockpit, y'all, which is where the driver compartment. So, where do you start?
We start at the bottom rails, build the floor, and work our way up. And as we do it, we do everything in steps. That way it's welded out, nothing moves, nothing pulls, everything stays where it needs to be. And we just start building our way up. Once the whole cockpit's done, then we'll continue on and we'll build our back half. And we'll weld that out. Then once that's all set and ready to go, we'll move to the front half and start putting the front half on.
So to me, the cockpit looks the most complicated, is it?
It takes the most time.
Takes the most time.
To get everything fit, and fit up is key to make sure you have, you know, quality welds, and easy quality welds.
Right.
But there is a lot of time that goes into the cockpit.
Now, a lot of this is per NHRA rules, correct?
Yes.
I mean, like, what are, I'm not saying specifics, but like, what is it? Tubing thickness, stuff like that?
Wall thickness, tubing diameter, wall thickness of the tubing. There is dimensions on different bay sizes.
Bay, y'all, being how far it is from this tube to this tube. That is a bay, correct?
Correct. That is correct. And in the bottom floor, they specify, you know, whether it's a K member or what type of construction practice you're using there. They also specify cage height and diameter tubing, same thing. Every part has a call out, pretty much.
The back half, there's a lot of fixtures back there, and that's got to be like, does by far the most work of these cars. Am I right in that? I know we wear out the front halves, but the back halves take a beating.
I would say the back half takes a beating, but they last quite some time.
Yes, they do.
You'll put a few seasons on a back half unless you have an event.
Yeah.
The front halves.
You like how you said that, an event?
And front halves more so, that just because they're meant to flex a little bit more. Back half's a little more rigid. You'll go through a couple more of those on a car's life cycle.
Yeah. So back half tubing diameter versus front half, is there any differences there?
Yes, there's quite a bit.
Yeah.
Obviously that's a lot more rigid of a setup, more robust. It's meant to be not nearly as flexible as the front half. So everything's definitely more robust. And over the years they've gone up in size and wall thickness as well.
Now, one thing that I'm looking at this chassis versus our chassis, and I'm messing you up from working. Just keep right on rolling, we're good. This has a strange rear end in it, where the car that you just built for me has a Chrisman. What's different about having to do that?
So for us, there's no difference for us. For us, we have the same fixture, and all of our plates are based off of that. But with the machine shop, they'll make the rear end plate itself that goes in,
which is actually where the rear wing attaches there.
So they'll make those for the Chrisman. So the pinion location and axle center line is all the same. All of our mounts are the same. Doesn't change our fixturing any. Right. It just, that way you have the choice which rear end you want to run.
Awesome. But as far as like back here though, like this chassis is the same as my chassis.
100%. 100%.
And again, but crew chief can make an adjustment.
There's bolt-on things that crew chiefs can do. As far as the construction, basic construction practices, they're identical.
These fixtures just amaze me. I mean, I'm assuming y'all have done it so much, you know that 282P goes right there.
Well, the thing about,
you got like a map.
No, there's notes for all of it, but a lot of it you do it repetitive enough, you know where it goes. The thing is, you want the fixturing because you want everything to be where it belongs, and anyone that does welding knows stuff will start to try to pull if it's not fixtured correctly or well enough. So we try to keep everything as tight and put in place as possible. That way, when we weld it and take the fixturing off, everything is where it belongs.
Let's move to the front. The back, like I say, I know that takes the beating, but the front, we definitely wear those out pretty quickly. On average, what do you think is typical on a front end? How many runs?
Some guys try to do them at 70 runs, 60, 70 runs. Some guys will do 110 runs. Some guys will do more. Yeah. It all depends on what the car's doing. The car kind of tells you if it's starting to get a sag in it, well, it's time to update the front half.
Yeah. So me and you know what that is, but when you say it's got a sag in it, what are you saying here?
The bottom rail starts to dip down.
So it'll go from being straight or slightly up
to down.
Like an old horse.
Yes, and when it starts to do that, that tells us, man, this car is getting tired, the metal's starting to go the wrong direction. Yep. Sorry about
Fatigue.
that. Yep. Fatigue. And now let's put a new front half. That car will get back to working the way it's supposed to, arch up the way it's supposed to, and transfer to traction the way it's supposed to then.
So the welding process, you've talked about that a couple times about it pulling. Do y'all have like you weld in a certain order?
We try to do it, or not try, we do a guy on each side of the car, and you come down it together. That way it's not trying to pull one way or other, and it stays fairly true. Then when we're all done, when we're done welding them, we take the fixtures off, and then we'll actually measure to make sure that it's not bowed or anything else. We just make sure all of that's, it's usually with very close. I mean, but it's all in being able to weld both sides at the same time, going through the stages of the car, keeps everything from pulling a certain way.
That's crazy. Typically from start to finish on a dragster, how long does it take?
We say 6 weeks. You can do them a little quicker, but 6 weeks is pretty much that you're getting after it at 6 weeks.
6
you know,
weeks.
if you start to finish working time.
Yeah. So I'm gonna ask this. I know the answer. I've actually known a lot of these answers, to be honest with you. I've done this a long time, but I've seen this and it's impressive. How quickly can you do a front half? And when I say a front half, we can bring our car here. They will literally cut it off right in front of the foot box and replace all the way to the front.
Well, our time is about a day and a half. When we had a car, Tony Schumacher's car had an incident in the Western
Denver.
Swing in Denver. They got the car back to us Sunday night, and on Tuesday morning, it was back on the truck and headed back to the next race out in Sonoma, I believe it was.
Yep, I believe you're right.
And so that, I mean, we have everything cut, ready, and prepped, sleeves, all the different parts. So if we have to do that, we are ready to go, because that's our job is to make sure the cars aren't down. And if they have an event, we need to be able to get them back to the next race. So I'm gonna tell the truth here, Nick. I've seen y'all do it quicker than that, because I have dropped our car off here in the morning and picked it up that night and tested it the next day. You are correct. When we have them, there was a period where we were building them, having the front halves all built, and you can do that. By lunchtime, you're putting a new one on, and by the end of the day, you will. That's with everything pre-made, the whole front half pre-made.
Yeah, I've seen them do it. Now, we brought the car to them with all the wiring, everything out of the way, and it was ready to go. But these guys can get it done. Buddy, I appreciate it. It's really cool to kind of see it. I mean, obviously, I've been driving them probably about as old as you are. I've been doing it that long, but I always am fascinated by it, and y'all are craftsmen at what you do.
We appreciate that. It's you know, there's a couple of us here, and without all of us working together, we wouldn't get it done. So we appreciate it.
Well, guys, there you have it. Nick, are you the head of the chassis shop? Is that correct term there? Yes, and again, I know it's more than just Nick that makes it happen, but when we need something, this is who we're calling and bothering. And as always, guys, appreciate you watching, liking, subscribing, sharing, and commenting. Y'all comment. Nick will actually go check them out, and if you got a question, maybe he'll even answer it. See you guys in the next one.